Good evening, everybody. And Raw actually just seemed like, or not just seemed like, but near the end of Raw, tag team match here, Sting and John Cena versus Seth Rollins and the Big Show. Originally, it was just Big Show versus Sting, as obviously all WWE fans know. But here is the return of Steve's Wrestling Ramble. I haven't had a show yet here on my YouTube channel, any live show yet. Obviously, as you can see by my videos, the last time I did an episode, I don't remember. It was a while ago, and it was back when I was on Blog Talk Radio. So those are all my old episodes, Blog Talk Radio. I can check them out there. And starting here now, and obviously moving forward, I will have Steve's Wrestling Ramble podcast episodes talking all things WWE and any subjects that you guys out there, men and women, that might want me to talk about. You're welcome to join the chat if you're watching live, any of the episodes live. Or obviously tweet me at WWE _ podcast. That is the quickest and easiest route to get a hold of me. I'm usually on that Twitter handle a couple times a day, so I definitely will catch your tweet if you do tweet at me. And if you leave any questions, I will first respond and let you know that I'll be answering them on the show. And then obviously in the next episode, I will answer them and then even give you a shout out of your Twitter handle. Of the one that asked the show. As I always say, if you're kind enough to take time out of your day and send me a tweet of a question, or in any way, obviously, give you the same respect back and give you a shout out on air. Even during live episodes, if you type something in the chat, ask me a question, and leave your Twitter handle or whatever, if you want that. Some people don't want that. They just want their question answered and moved on. That's fine. But unless they don't specifically say that, I plan to give said individual a shout out when answering their question or when they give their opinions on something. It doesn't even have to be a question. It can just be an opinion on something. So that is how I operate, I guess, in that way, respecting any viewers or all viewers of this podcast and my NFL podcast that obviously is weekly now with the NFL season already started. But tonight, here on Steve's Wrestling Ramble's huge return, we're going to be going over Raw, of course, Raw review. Also, I'm going to be giving my predictions of Night of Champions as of right now. Obviously, there might be more matches added when SmackDown's taped tomorrow and everything. Obviously, I'll be reading the spoilers tomorrow night to find out that information. But as of right now, the matches that are on the card right now on WWE.com / Night of Champions, and to give my predictions on all those matches. And if any matches that I miss, obviously I will talk about them when I'm on the shows that I am on Thursday. Thursday night I do double duty. I co-host Talking WWE with Jay, and a part of the gang or part of the group on Main Event Marks. So then both of them have live episodes in their own right. So, and I have their YouTube channels on my channel. If you look on the right side, I think I have it under other places you can find me or something simple like that, and I have those two sitting right there. And welcome to find or go to their channel, check their latest episodes out. Obviously, I've been on there most of the time, especially talking to WWJ as a co-host. But the last few weeks I've been on there for Main Event Marks and plan to be a regular there in the future, as obviously as long as they'll have me. So I greatly appreciate both of them, both of the hosts there, Jay for Talking WWJ and Angry Cooter, as he's called here on YouTube, the Angry One, the host of Main Event Marks. So thank you to both of you, obviously, for letting me be on your program for as long as I have been. But like I said, this is my show. This is my own wrestling and WWE podcast. I don't have all the bells and whistles like others do, and hopefully, maybe in time I will. I'll have a background, or I'll have a theme song to open the show, or actual pictures go up every time I talk about a match. Maybe I'll have that sort of stuff, but for right now I don't. So I don't know. It's just how it is. But obviously, as I have more episodes, slowly get fan base, I definitely will be hoping to improve that immensely. Obviously, I apologize. I'm just trying to check out some things and waiting to see if any of the people that I invited might want to join. It's always better when you have a group of people um, to discuss this stuff. But anyways, before I have too much dead air, um, I'll go right into actually a Raw. Everything that happened tonight. They opened up with the Authority promo. They teased that there was going to be a huge announcement. I kind of didn't think it was going to be huge or as huge as WWE was saying that it's going to be huge. Because in my opinion, I thought it was just a marketing going away to try to get more viewers in the first segment of Monday Night Raw, since now they're up against Monday Night Football. And even on top of that, it's the opening Monday Night Football, obviously, with the season here, finishing off week one of the NFL season, which is a double header. So that might make it even worse in a way or not. Going up against that, not just one game, but you're going up against two games because sequentially in a row. So I saw that as that. And then the second thing, anything that WWE, or at least let's say most, maybe not everything, but most that they promote to be a huge announcement that has to do with storyline wise, as in kayfabe, unless it's like huge announcement in quote unquote real world in WWE corporate, as in like maybe an announcement of a wrestler that might return, or an old title coming back, or some kind of thing that WWE Incorporated is a part of. Um, Something like that. If it's not like that, and it just has to do with a storyline, or it just has to do obviously with their characters and on TV, then usually most of the time WWE's huge announcements are not as big as they're promoted. In my opinion, I mean they're just not. They always, at least for me, they land flat. And this one did too. I mean, yeah, I guess technically it was a big thing. That Sting was wrestled on Raw for the first time ever in a wrestling match, but comparatively the one I thought it could be and what it should have been or whatever, it wasn't as big. It was okay, sure, cool. Kind of like a caveat thing. It wasn't a caveat to something, but it wasn't. It wasn't what I thought it would be, but it was something that I expected it to be, as I stated, because WWE and the way they promote things, especially things like this that having to do with storylines of kayfabe, isn't as big or huge as they think it would be. Sorry, I was doing my Donald Trump impression right there. As actually Jimmy Fallon did on a show a couple nights ago when he had Donald Trump on as the guest. But anyways, but it wasn't as big, and obviously Michael Cole promoted the what out of it, the heck out of it, that it was huge. Um, and I guess in a way, I guess it is. But to me, it wasn't the huge announcement or big announcement that I thought it could have been. So again, that's just my opinion. I'm sure people agree and disagree. But anyways, moving from that, they went into the tag team match, and you know, the New Day, and as I've stated on the other programs I'm a part of, they they um, they turned me around on them. Meaning that when they started, I kind of didn't like it. I thought it was just stupid. I thought it was too much of a comedy act. I thought it was that they were over the top too much. It was just, to be quite honest, I thought it was dumb at that time. I thought it wasn't going to get over. I thought, and I believed, or I was kind of hoping with the rumors back then, that they would turn New Day into a heel faction, be the new generational nation of domination, um, and go from there. Maybe even have feuds with the Ascension, you know, which are a ripoff from Legion of Doom from the 80s. They could have had something like that. Um, but as things went and as time gone and as they got more and more into their characters, for me personally, and in my opinion, they got over to me. And I became a fan of theirs. Um, and obviously I respect them, and I see how it's going, and they definitely deserved to win that tag team championship a second time. As much as I was been saying that I kind of hope that PTP Primetime Players had a longer run, but just the fact that New Day was getting so over and so over right now, you gotta you gotta take advantage of that. So the New Day tag team champions, that's fine, but do I see the Dudley Boys taking it off of them and native champions? Well, we'll see. Like I said, tonight I'm going to be giving my predictions of Night of Champions as the card is as of right now. My predictions are subject to change as the card is. Like I said, I'll be on episodes on Thursday night of Talking WWJ and main event marks to give my predictions with what should be at that time of the official card. But even then, you never know if things are added to the card over the weekend there before Night of Champions. You never know. Heck, they might even add a match to the card during the pre-show. So you don't have an official card until that first bell rings to start the first match of the pay-per-view. But like I said, tonight I'll be giving my predictions. So I have predictions at least for my show that I host. So also, like I said, that tag team title match, going off from the funny thing that I was mentioning before I went off kilter there was about Triple H and Stephanie dancing with the New Day. That was kind of funny, especially Triple H being a part of it. Whatever. I kind of, in the past, like when Triple H just like his interaction with Zack Ryder one time when when Zack Ryder was popular in any way, and he took the picture of Zack Ryder or whatever because he was like the internet champion thing. But so he was being a good sport, took the picture, and then pedigreed him. I kind of thought it could have been here with the New Day, but then I also kind of thought that would be kind of dumb because they're going to be going into a match defending their tag team titles. So, but it just made me think for a split second maybe that could be what happened, but it didn't. And New Day defended against the PTP because they're rematch clause, and I didn't know if they were gonna actually have them defend here in Raw or if they were gonna wait and just have a triple threat tag team title match at Night of Champions, and then you could have New Day retain and not have to pin the Dudley Boys, and then a Hell in a Cell or all the way to Survivor Series. Then you have the Dudley Boys take that tag team time. Then you don't have to rush it. And as obviously as great as it is for me in a nostalgic way, as much as just in a general way, that I'm glad that the Dudley Boys are back. WWE does not need to rush it and just have them win the tag team titles, especially if they are going to have them here actually full time. I guess contracted full time, here full time, not being part time, and not being here for a short time, and they're just going. So in that fact, I think it actually makes it easier, I guess, in a way, easier and better for WWE to hold off and having the Dudley Boys win the tag team titles. Sooner rather than later. I think they will. I think they're gonna have a nice little run. But to be quite honest, I don't know if I see that Night of Champions. I'll hold those thoughts till I get to my prediction to that. Get to that match. So. But for in the match itself between the New Day and PTP, and very entertaining, very good match. Great way to kick off Raw. I kind of thought that they would kick off Raw with that, so I wasn't surprised. And I also had a funny feeling, and I kind of would have liked to see the Divas title actually be the main event of Raw, especially in this situation. They had, in what I would say, in my opinion, WWE had a perfect opportunity for once, once in a blue moon, I guess you can say, a perfect opportunity, and especially with this whole Divas Revolution, a perfect opportunity to then have the Divas main event Monday Night Raw. It's the go-home show tonight of Champions, Nikki Bella and that Bellatron, and, breaking the record technically at midnight, but it's also, non-technically at the end of the Raw, end of show. And then you can have that match being the main event, going all the way up to when she could break it and see if she does, sort of thing. And maybe missing, and maybe when the match gets longer and longer into past 10 o'clock or whatever, and or up to 10 o'clock, and that clock and the Bellatron is actually up on Titantron, obviously. while the match is going, so from the beginning, but then you have Nikki Bella starting to look at that Tron, starting to get a little nervous, or even Charlotte looking at the Bellatron, and trying to get it, you know, kind of like the beat the clock challenge. I don't know. I thought it would have been a perfect opportunity. Let me know what you think. Obviously, if you're watching live in the chat, um, or comment in the comment section below. But to me, I just thought that would have been great. I mean, maybe I didn't explain it in the best way than I have in my head, but to me, it was an opportunity missed, and I thought it would be great, especially playing up on the Beltron, playing up the longest dual title reign, which is Beltron, and also with the Divas Revolution. You want to give Divas a chance? You want to have this true revolution and not it just being a tagline? Have it matter? Besides getting rid of that dang, gosh darn butterfly belt and bring back the women's title. Another way to do it. Another way to do it is put them in the main event of Raw. Not the main event of SmackDown, not the main event of Superstars. Respect to those shows, but Raw is your flagship show. SmackDown might become something once they go live. And obviously I can go into a whole go down that trail and talk about what I think of SmackDown and what I hope it can become when it goes live. But maybe I'll save that to another day and stay on track. But I just thought that would have been an opportunity, would have been great, and I think it would have worked, especially with the storyline, the situation, and everything that I described. I think it just would have been a perfect opportunity for WWE to take advantage of what they have and truly show this revolution is real. For Stephanie McMahon, to show the WWE universe that they really want to give a, what about the Divas, that they're going to put them in the main event of Raw, because this storyline fits to be in the main event of Raw with all, with all the pieces to this story, or this, story kind of puzzle, But obviously they didn't. But it was in the third hour, so at least it started off the third hour. It was in that time frame. So still, you can't be disappointed. But I just thought it would have been great if they went with it the other way and had it in as the main event. Not too much else really to talk about for me, at least, from Monday Night Raw. I usually don't go match by match as other shows do. I should, but I don't. I'm kind of a straight to the point kind of person on things. But the main thing, being the World Heavyweight Championship, Seth Rollins. I mean, from when I was watching, because I was back and forth watching Monday Night Football and Raw, so I don't know if Seth Rollins was in any other segments backstage or not. I think he was with one with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. But besides that, we didn't really see him much until the end of the show, running in there and then having the tag team match. And I think that was kind of, I don't know, I kind of wish they used Seth more, a little bit more. Maybe even have him interfering in the John Cena match. And then also, like he did, get involved in the Sting match there at the end in what was the main event, Big Show versus Sting. But I do want to talk about this. I was talking about the Divas Revolution, actually. The one thing I will talk about here specifically was the match between Charlotte Flair and Nikki Bella. That was an awesome match. 5-star match, no, but it was a good match, in my opinion. And I think having superstars or divas, women wrestlers, more apropos to say, in my opinion, but having women wrestlers like a Charlotte Flair or a Sasha Banks, or even a Becky Lynch to some extent, and heck, you can even throw in uh, Bayley, uh, Paige, Naomi, into the mix there. Now you have this big crop of women wrestlers, and be able to truly actually have this revolution. I respect Eva Marie more than some WWE universe of the WWE universe, and I see and understand why WWE wants to push her. I do. She's a beautiful woman. She's the whole, red everything or whatever that's it, that her catchphrase thing is, all red everything or something like that. you know, and just her major heat that she just gets just for being her, or for her being on Total Divas, how she's cast light on that show and how they quote unquote booked her on there. So I can see why WWE wants to push her and why they want her to be back in the main event. And she's working hard, even with the personal training. She's getting special treatment that other divas don't get. But what do you expect her to do? If WWE comes to her and is like, okay, we want to push you, yada yada, you need to get this special training. You're still kind of green, but our plans is to maybe have you defend the Divas Championship at WrestleMania, as stated in that phone call in last week's episode of Total Divas. What do you expect her to do? Do you expect her to just be like, no, no thanks? I mean, really, I mean, I'm sorry. It's just, let's say if the women out there, if you were in the WWE and you were a WWE diva, and Mike Chioda or anybody from WWE comes to you and offers you what they offered Eva Marie in a way, I don't think you're going to be turning it down either. I don't think so. And as much as I understand the issues that the rest of the WWE Diva locker room have against Eva Marie in that way of why does she deserve it, why is she getting this, yada yada. To be quite honest, I think it is a little bit of jealousy as it is. Um, Obviously, it's their right to not like it, but you also got to respect it and understand that if you were offered that, you would take that too. So, so I can understand why WWE wants Eva Marie to be the leader of this revolution. Whenever they have her come back to the main roster, first she has to win the NXT title and then drop it at some point. So she'll be in NXT for a little bit, but trust me, she'll be on the main roster sooner than whether you like her or dislike her. I think that's just going to be the case. But specifically here to tonight's match, Charlotte versus Nikki. Obviously, a great match in the ending. I was wondering how are they going to do this? How are they going to, have a finish of this match where Nikki still keeps her title, breaks AJ Lee record as the plan was all along. I mean, seriously. I thought from the very beginning when she won the women's championship, Divas championship, I'm sorry, the Divas championship, I thought she was going to be the one to break AJ Lee's record. I just thought that was going to be the plan. And I thought it from the start. Now at first I thought it was, in spite of AJ Lee's husband, CM Punk, and the issue WWE's having with them, or with him, and then not wanting to, talk about AJ Lee and her career achievements or at all. I'm sure, heck, it was even hard enough to even bring it up now, but they had to, obviously. But so they wanted to put someone else there to break that record, and who else better than Nikki Bella? Now, I know a lot of people don't like her because she's associated with John Cena, dating him, thinking that John Cena is helping. John Cena being the reason why she now broke this record. I think Nikki Bella deserves more respect than that, because I think, at least from what I've learned from Total Divas, and you can't take everything from Total Divas to heart because it is still a scripted show itself. But I saw it as genuine when in that one episode, Nikki Bella was talking about how her love for the business, wanting to be Divas champion truly, wanting to be the flag bearer of the Divas division, being like the John Cena of the Divas division, at least from where I saw it, being the leader, being on top also, but just those other qualities, and her in-ring skills improved and everything, and I just thought from the beginning that she would break that record of AJ Lee's, and she has. So I was wondering how they would do that. How would they have finished this match where Nikki Bella keeps her title, breaks the record, but also, also that Charlotte Flair can have a title match at Night of Champions. Now, obviously, you can just do a simple DQ, but I think the way they did it actually worked with the whole playing up again of the twin magic things and all that other stuff, yada yada. That I thought putting that all together instead of just having a random run in and just disqualification, or what I kind of thought could happen, small percent chance, but I thought maybe Paige turning on Charlotte, being jealous of her getting the opportunity instead of Paige being who technically was supposed to be this leader of a revolution, taking out, or not even the revolution itself, but more of a revolution to take out the Bella Twins, as it was in storyline. So, that could have happened, but like I said, I like the way that they did it. Um, and honestly, I didn't think of it. I thought of more actually Nikki Bella just winning straight up, but the way that they did it, actually giving Charlotte the win, having her actually have the title on her shoulder with her father, Ric Flair, there. It's nice to see Ric Flair back in WWE at any point, no matter what. Even here, just to be there for his daughter. For moments like that, and that's why I think he's also going to be at Night of Champions. They're going to have this whole thing happen again because I think Charlotte's going to win. I do, kind of like a spoiler to my predictions in that match, but I feel that's going to happen, and that's not going to change from here to Thursday. But um, you know, they're kind of teasing what's going to happen on Night of Champions with Ric Flair being there, celebrating with their team, maybe with confetti coming down at that point, or something like that. Who knows? But so I was wondering how they would do it, and the way they did it, I liked it. I think it worked. I think it was the best way to do it, the best way out, to still be able to have that Divas title match at Night of Champions. Because, like I said, as much as I thought that maybe Nikki won it straight up, but then what are you going to do at Night of Champions? If she won straight up, title defense against Charlotte, why would Charlotte then deserve another title match 6 days later? Like, that would not make sense. You'd have to, quote unquote, go back to the back of the line of, the ranking and, work the way back up to try to get a Divas title shot. You know what I mean? It would go to the next woman up in that situation, I guess. So if you did something with a straight up victory, a regular victory, and if you still wanted to have a match in Night of Champions, then you would have Charlotte Flair win and have the rematch at Night of Champions 6 days later. Nikki Bella not getting the record and everything, but I really strongly thought and knew that they would have Nikki Bella win that record, break AJ Lee's record, put her name there in the record books. That'll be there forever or until, I don't know, whatever, if they have a new diva in the next couple of years to break the record of Nikki Bella's. But at least for now, a long time in the history books, being the longest reigning Divas champion, and that's something to be proud of. I mean, even though yes, she didn't defend it as much, and they kind of strung it along this way. And if you want to talk about clues, those clues should have showed you, and for you to see the light that was going to be the outcome. Like I said, whether you dislike Nikki Bella or her association with John Cena dating him or the Bella Twins at all. If you're on that side of disliking her, at least I would hope, from hearing what I had to say, first you respect what I say, but second you respect Nikki Bella, and in fact the Bella Twins, for all of what they have done in WWE, have done, are doing, and will do in and out of the WWE. And what they're trying to do backstage for the Divas division, trying to make it better again. Yeah, I know that stuff doesn't get publicized or doesn't as noteworthy as rumors or negative things on the Divas division, but it's out there, and some sites talk about it and whatever. But specifically Nikki Bella and maybe even with her sister, they're trying to do better for the Divas division behind the scenes. Asking for Charlotte and Sasha and Becky to come up even earlier than they did. Requesting things like that, wanting a better competition, so to speak, or whatever. Making, like I said, make the division better again. If you really think about it, besides Stephanie McMahon being the one officially to call the Revolution, I think really who started it was the Bella Twins backstage, wanting things to change, wanting the Divas division to be respected again. Wanting the WWE universe to give to care again, to not have it a bathroom break or snack break or whatever when there's a Divas match on Raw or on pay-per-view. to have people actually invested and interested in that match. So I commend them. I commend the Bell Twins for what they've done backstage in the past. But you know who else I commend? The WWE. Vince McMahon, Triple H, and even more so Stephanie McMahon for having this One Motiva Revolution. That they're showing that they care about what the WWE Universe is saying. I know it's not perfect, and I've even said about the issues with the Revolution so far. There's still more things that they need to do to show all of us here in the WWE Universe if they care, and that the Divas division, I apologize for that, the Divas division should be respected. And, as I highlighted before, one of those things, changing the butterfly belt, bringing back the women's title. If you don't bring back the old women's title, you make a new women's title, make it modern looking, I guess. I don't know. If you don't want it to look like it all used to, if you want to modernize it into this new generation, but still call it the women's title. Also with the longer matches, better storylines, more storylines. You have a great crop of talent there. A great crop of women's wrestlers. They're at your disposal, whether they're in that tier, or obviously even on the main roster. Some of those divas. I mean, one of my ones that I like, Summer Rae. I know right now she's in that feud with Rusev Ziggler and actually Lana, who now is out for a while. But even her, if she was really into it and really wanted to go for the Divas title, which I would hope she would, she should definitely get a better feud, get into that mix. Maybe sometimes soon get a Divas title match. Then you have Emma, Naomi, excuse me. And don't forget about Natalya Neidhart. I mean, gosh darn it. You think she definitely should be one of the next in line to get a Divas title match? I mean, heck, I would think so. But then again, that's just my opinion. So, I care, at least for me, I think that the Divas Revolution is doing well, and I commend the WWE for giving it a tap now, but there's still more to do, and it still needs to continue. It needs to be consistent showing from the WWE to the WWE Universe that they care and that they're actually putting forth effort to make the Divas division better, stronger, and heck, more entertaining as well. So, and like I said, so far they're doing well, but there still has to be more. There still has to be, I don't know, there still has to be more. Still have to show, show fans like me and others that if they truly want the Divas division to flourish, and if I were them, I definitely would be wanting that. Now, another good step is that they're having this first Iron Woman match, the next NXT special. So that's great. That's another step forward. Hopefully, they have some of those matches maybe in other main events, pay-per-view for Divas title matches. You could have, if Charlotte does actually win at Night of Champions, you could have the rematch, an Iron Woman match, or you can have a Charlotte Sasha Banks match down the road for the Divas title, an Iron Woman match. Or if you really want Eva Marie to try to get respect after all her training, after all the stuff, and yada yada, you have Charlotte versus Eva, Divas title match, and that probably would be not Survivor Series, but it'd probably be some further down the line, maybe Royal Rumble or TLC or whatever. Hey, maybe even TLC, and have a a Divas title match being an Iron Woman match. Now I know a lot of people are shaking their heads like, Eva Marie shouldn't be in that type of match. Yada yada, she's not deserving. But I think if you really want to try to give, if WWE really wants to try to get a show and get Eva Marie more respect from the WWE universe, you put her in a match like that after obviously all the training and having her back on the main roster, and then going for the Divas title, and you have her in that sort of match. I mean, maybe you don't book her to win it, but you at least have an entertaining match and show the WWE universe that Eva Marie, no, Eva Marie should be respected, yada yada, Now, not everybody's going to change their mind overnight, if it does go that way. And they do have an Iron Woman match, Eva Marie versus Charlotte Flair at TLC or Royal Rumble or whatever at that time, because I think that's when Eva Marie is going to be going for the Divas title. I think that's when WWE wants to. I mean, obviously they want to push her fast and get her back on the main roster, but even doing that fast, it still would be TLC at the earliest and Fastlane at the latest to have that match. But who knows? You never know. But like I said, if they have that match and Eva Marie actually, it's one of those. If they do that, pull the trigger and have that type of match with Eva Marie, she has to step up. And like I said, it'd be a perfect opportunity for WWE to use Eva Marie and see if they can get Eva Marie, maybe not more fans, but more respect from even the haters and non-fans, obviously. Um, if she does well in that match and how she does and everything, and not people just thinking that Charlotte carried the match or whatever. I just think that'd be good for Eva. That'd be a perfect opportunity. But like I said, she can't blow it because if she does get that opportunity, she has that type of match, and she lays an egg, she's just not doing well or getting tired after 15 minutes, and you still have 15 minutes to go in your Iron Woman match, then she wasted that opportunity, and obviously it'll go the negative way. But like I said, it's an opportunity. It's like a sink or swim situation. Like I said, maybe I didn't explain that the best, but you know where I'm going with it. It's a sink or swim situation. She's gonna show that she does well, and she'll at least get more respect from the non-fans, or she'll show that she's still green and not working out, and WWE then would have to make a decision on her at that time. So that's my whole thing about the Divas division there. And that's pretty much the end of the Raw review part of this episode. We're going to go into Night of Champions and my predictions. Like I said, Night of Champions prediction as the card is right now. Subject to change my predictions when I go into the other shows, but even if they change on my other shows, since this is the one I host, like this is my show, these predictions right now are going to be obviously official for this show. And obviously the show only. If they change the other one and I get it right with the change on the other show, it doesn't count for this show because, like I said, this is, people can go back to this episode and be like, okay, he was right or wrong there from his show. Now, if I'm right or wrong over there, then that's a whole different story, whole different group. So, just, I don't know, fair warning there. But anyways, the first match I'm going to go over is going to be, all right, we can go with this one. Ryback defending the Intercontinental Championship against Kevin Owens. I kind of thought they were going to put The Miz in there. I thought they were just going to have maybe The Miz win the title. The whole thing about Daniel Bryan, if he returns or not, to be quite honest, I'm hoping in a way that he retires. And not because I don't like him. I'm a big fan of Daniel Bryan, actually. But just for his health and his family's sake, don't, think with your heart. Think with your soul more than your head. I know this is what you dream of. This has been your only goal. That's all you want to do is wrestle. You don't even want to do all the other stuff. No coaching and NXT or being the manager or just showing up or being the GM kind of part of the show. You just want to be a wrestler and that's all you wanted to do. And you lived your dream and you became the champion at WrestleMania 30, the 30th anniversary of WrestleMania. You had that moment. But I don't want you to think too much with your head and want to just rush back and be back and get injured again, where you could, if it is your neck or if it's not just a concussion, whatever the problem is, and you get injured again, you never know, especially with pro wrestling. It could be paralyzation and, your you could really mess up yourself for your rest of your life. So in this kind of thought process, you have to think more long term. That short term, I'm sure you have talking to family, friends, and others. Um, so no, I'm not saying anything new that hasn't already been said or you haven't been thinking about there, Daniel Bryan. But anyways, if Daniel Bryan does come back in WWE, I was thinking maybe the Miz wins the IC title and then they go into that feud because they had Daniel Bryan on Miz TV, kind of having planting the seed to maybe something there if Daniel Bryan ever does come back to WWE. But anyways, Ryback against Kevin Owens. I'm going to go with Ryback successfully defending his Intercontinental Championship. But yeah, I don't see going away. Like I said, if the Miz was in there, I might have gone with the Miz. But I don't know. I just can't go with that right now. All right, the next one I'm gonna go with the New Day versus the Dudley Boys for the tag team titles. I know I said maybe you can just give the Dudley Boys the tag team titles now. It might even be a pre-show match or opening the card or opening the show match, first match on the card for the main show. I'm gonna have actually the New Day. Hmm. This is kind of hard because you can have the Dudley Boys win this tag team title, and then you set up a rematch. The next pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell against the New Day. That could get interesting. Or the night after on Raw. Get that out of the way. Maybe you have it right away on Raw next week, Raw, and you get it out of the way, and then maybe you have a feud somebody else, maybe even with PTP or somebody. Yeah, probably wouldn't be PTP because they already had a reign, but so maybe it's going to be a chase. It's going to be one of those situations. Maybe the chase is better than actually getting the titles. Meaning that maybe the WWE is thinking long term in that one and not going to rush and just have the delay to win the tag team titles right away. So I'm going to actually I'm going to go with a New Day successfully defending it. Next match, Neville and the Lucha Dragons versus the Comic Wasteland of Stardust and the Ascension. I'm going to go here actually Neville and Lucha Dragons in the win here. Um, yeah, I'm going to go Neville and the Lucha Dragons. I was going to go the other way because of what happened in the last review with Stephen Amell and everything actually getting the win last time at SummerSlam. But I don't see Stardust. I don't see this whole Comic Wasteland really making sense. I still am thinking that Cody Rhodes should come back as just Cody Rhodes, but if he really wants to stay this character and this gimmick, then I guess as much as I want him to go back to just being Cody Rhodes, then I respect him. And hopefully more people do respect him for his decision. Like I said, if he really wanted to keep this, whatever, maybe WWE came to him and said, would you like to go back to? Would you like to just be Cody Rhodes or the dashing Cody Rhodes or anything like that? And maybe he said, no, I want to stay Stardust, go through with the thing with Stephen Amell, and moving forward, then obviously WWE is going to respect his decision, and so should we as WWE fans in WWE Universe. So that's my 2 cents on that. But like I said, I'm going to go with Neville and the Lucha Dragons. Next match up, Dolph Ziggler versus Rusev. Um, like I said, this feud has its up and down, kind of like a roller coaster to me. At some points I liked it, some points I was like, oh geez, shaking my head. And again, like it, dislike, kind of situation there with that feud. But at least for right now, I kind of like it. Yeah, it's total soap opera-ish. And as I stated on on the other shows that I'm a part of. If you want a storyline in WWE that's 100% soap opera, or at least it seems that way in the way that they're promoting it, they're having the segments on Raw, and I like. That's the feud. That's the feud for that. For it to be 100% soap opera driven feud. Quite honest. So I don't hate it, but that's why it has that up and down kind of roller coaster for me because all the soap operas, they have their moments, then they don't. They certainly do have their peaks and valleys. So, but for this match specifically, I'm actually gonna go with Dolph Ziggler. I see Hot Summer, as Richard calls her, but Summer Rae, the beautiful Summer Rae, getting involved and helping out Ziggler there, helping out Dolph Ziggler. Getting the win. She'll turn on Rusev. Then later, when Lana can come back, Lana will be back with Rusev. Hopefully, I think that could be a situation. Even if she doesn't turn on him on Sunday, I just still think Ziggler's going to get the win here. So I'm going to go with my prediction here: Dolph Ziggler over Rusev. Next up, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and a mystery partner. People have been saying Baron Corbin, Randy Orton. I mean, you never know. It could be like a Baron Corbin, someone that's getting a call up from NXT to the main roster. And I kind of seemed like I thought they were actually going to announce it during their segment on Raw here tonight, but I'm kind of glad they didn't, especially if it's Baron Corbin. So these kind of situations always, at least for me, makes me think that it's going to be an NXT person, giving them a debut and having a match, being kind of being one of a big storyline and good feud that they had to be a part of. Kind of like a Shield 2.0 against the Wyatt family here. And you know how good those matches were when we had Shield versus Wyatts in the past. But in this match, I'm actually going to go with the Wyatt family this time. You gotta go a little back and forth. Kind of how feuds go. One gets the upper hand one month, the other month, and then you have a rubber match. Third time. So I'm gonna go with the Wyatt family here with the win, and actually I'm gonna, even though this doesn't have to do with the prediction, but just in my thought, Braun Strowman actually getting the pin in the end for the Wyatt family. Next up, Seth Rollins versus John Cena for the WWE United States Championship. I don't think Seth's going to go 2-0. I don't think Seth is going to go 0-2. But you know which way I can see more likely of happening between those two? Is actually 0-2. Because then that would build up to a Triple H Seth Rollins feud that I thought, and others have thought, that is going to be happening much sooner than later. I've always targeted Survivor Series for it to have that match, and I think that's the way they're going to go. Whether Triple H actually gets involved in any of these matches and turns on Seth, or that doesn't happen at all and he's supportive and Seth just actually loses both matches, and then they tease something on Raw the next night or whatever. But I think that's the way it's going. And if you're going to have a Triple H versus Seth Rollins match, it's not going to be for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. It's not going to be for any title. Okay? So, especially as I mentioned, I think it's going to be sooner rather than later. That could be the way they do it. Get both titles off of Seth. And maybe even have a cash-in by Sheamus here at Night of Champions. I could see it, Sting. I could see it either Sting or Seth winning that title match. Both being tired of whatever. Sheamus running in and winning the championship. Heck, I even see it more feasible if Sting wins the title and then have Sheamus cash in. But I still hope that whenever Sheamus does cash in, that it's unsuccessful. I just think it would be better to have a long Sting run, or maybe not a long one, but at least something will run if they are going to give him the belt, in respect to him and his history, past, and everything, for him being the legend that he is. Or Seth Rollins having a longer title reign, or whatever, than having Sheamus in there just because he is your Money in the Bank holder, just because you booked Sheamus that way. You want to give him a little bit of push. And the writing on the wall is kind of on the wall because it seems like if you're a heel and you win that briefcase, you successfully cash in. The only, kind of what did you know, and I'm sure most of you have already known this, but did you know that the only two times that the Money in the Bank winner cashed in unsuccessfully were faces? Um, and that was John Cena and Damian Sandow. So, if you want to go by that logic, then then this one he's definitely going to cash in successfully. But I'm still hoping and thinking that maybe, whenever he cashes in, it will be unsuccessfully. But that's another thing to think of. But like I said, between 0-2 and 2-0, I more likely see him going 0-2. But I'm going to be predicting him going 1-1. So for this first match against John Cena for the U.S. title, I have him losing. I have to see John Cena winning the U.S. title. Going back to those open challenges on Raw, I think it worked really well. And John Cena even, saying in a promo about how that actually, was good. The W Universe wanted to see superstars getting a chance against John Cena, and sometimes even main event matches like a Cesaro or a Neville or anybody, or obviously Kevin Owens was actually had a feud with him for the U.S. title. Giving them the opportunity there. Stardust, Dean Ambrose, are the ones that actually faced him during that time, and continuing on, and then maybe to a point, maybe you actually have someone take it off him that either is going to make a debut or something to that effect, where you get all your money's worth for that. So I see John Cena winning back the United States Championship. Next one, and I actually think these last three matches will be going in this order at the pay-per-view. We got Charlotte Flair versus Nikki Bella, or as she's just known on TV now, just Charlotte. Charlotte versus Nikki Bella for the Divas Championship. Kind of a stipulation Stephanie McMahon threw in there at the end of the night, which I kind of like. Make it more interesting. That if Nikki, obviously if she's pinned, submitted, DQ'd, or whatever, she loses her title. I remember doing this on the time. I think it was a Triple H versus Randy Orton. Or I think Randy Orton was the champion at some pay-per-view. We did that kind of thing. If Randy Orton got himself disqualified, he would lose his title. I think it was against Triple H. If my memory is serving me correctly, you never know. But so I like that little thing thrown in. Makes it more interesting than it already is. But I'm going to be predicting that Charlotte wins the match, and I'm going to go Charlotte wins. I'm actually going to go Charlotte wins by submission. But in the end, I'm just saying Charlotte's going to win no matter what. But I'm kind of thinking a little bit more and thinking it probably would be with the figure eight. Especially if her father's going to be there. What a way to win your first title with your father there, and doing your version of what was the figure four, but your spin with it being the figure eight. So I'm gonna go with Charlotte being the new WWE Divas champion, and then our main event, a WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins defending against the Icon Sting. Again, 100 ways to think about this, 100 ways to book it. Not really 100, but a couple. You know what I mean? It's just the possibilities in my head right now are endless. You have either Sheamus cash-in, Seth winning clean, Sting winning clean, the Authority being a part of it, Triple H turning on Seth, Sting joining the Authority, or whatever. There's many different ways to think of how this match could end. And like I said in my predictions here, I'm going to go Seth Rollins for one for the night. So, in that vein, I'm going to go with Seth Rollins successfully defending his WWE World Heavyweight Championship against Sting. I think that's going to be the outcome. I mean, as great as it would be to see Sting from the championship, don't get me wrong. If Sting wins, I might be happy to be wrong. But I just can't trust WWE to do something right for a WCW person or superstar, wrestler, whatever. Sports entertainer, whatever they want to call it. Pro wrestler, sports entertainer. I just there's all the stuff that they did with how they kind of buried the WCW roster after Vince McMahon bought him out and whatever. I mean, I'm not like bitter over it because I was always Team WWE. I was always on WWE's side of the war. I'm not. I like the end of. I was a big fan of the NWO. Still have a T-shirt, whatever, and of Goldberg. The NWO, Goldberg, and Sting. But that was it for WCW, in my opinion. And then obviously I liked everybody from WWE to Gangrel, The Godfather, all the way up to Triple H, The Rock, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. So um, can't wait till Gangrel gets to the WWE Hall of Fame. That is gonna be awesome to hear that theme music again. But I digress. But I don't know if I can trust WWE to actually do something right and doing the right thing for a WCW person, especially Sting being WCW. Being that one person that didn't want to come to WWE after the takeover, after Vince bought WCW, after it went under, which I respect, staying, prideful, staying down the ship, not jumping ship or not even leaving after it sunk. So I respect Sting for that, I do. But I also respect WWE's side of things too. So it's just, I don't know. But he deserved it. And you know what he even deserved more? He deserved to win at WrestleMania. If you weren't ever going to have him being your champion, being a WWE champion, you should have let him at least get that win against Triple H at WrestleMania 31 there. I thought it just would have been a great way to do it. I mean, yeah, they had the NWO come out, DX, so this whole thing still, culmination of what was the war that ended many years ago, but, as they tried to write it off as ending it then. And I guess I should have, before WrestleMania, I should have known that's still really going to go with Triple H winning, but I predicted Sting to win because I thought that would be what would be best. It would be the right way and respectful way to Sting to do it. But so if they're not going to do it there, and they're going to have Sting's next pay-per-view match against Seth Rollins, now think about how that is for Seth Rollins. Sting's second match in WWE at a pay-per-view is against you, not against Undertaker, not a second match against Triple H, not Brock Lesnar. Oh heck no, not against Brock Lesnar. But against you, Seth Rollins, and you've earned it. Your title reign has been better than I expected, and you're playing, what you're supposed to do as a heel, being overconfident, cocky, slimy, weaselly kind of heel, playing it to a T. So obviously I commend that, and WWE has commended you by that in and the way they booked you and have you as champion right now. So with all that and all those other factors, I'm going to have Seth Rollins successfully defending. I'm also going to, I guess, predict that there's not going to be a cash-in, and maybe something will happen on Raw, and there will be a cash-in on Raw, and we can get to this Triple H Seth match at Survivor Series, because I still think that's the way that they're going. So I guess that's it for my predictions for Night of Champions. Obviously, I went over Raw. I hope you enjoyed this. So if you're welcome to obviously like the video, share it with a friend, share it on Twitter, however you do. Like, subscribe, and share. I'm trying to build some of this YouTube channel and try to make it. Obviously, I try to make each and every episode of any of my podcasts or videos bigger and better than ever, respectable, improve them each and every episode, and just go from there. So definitely, I guess if you're not subscribed, you're welcome to subscribe and join the conversation, as I put it, talking WWE here on Steve's Wrestling Ramble, or talking NFL on my NFL podcast, Talking Packers with Steve. So hope you all have a great week. I will be live tweeting during the pay-per-view. I don't think I'm going to be doing any live reaction kind of thing like I tried to do for Raw last week during the pay-per-view. I think I'll just be live tweeting, so follow me on Twitter, as you see there in the banner below. And like I said, for next episodes, obviously, if you have any questions or suggestions for how to talk about that you want answered, or just in general, just let me know. Tweet me. And like I said, I'll definitely answer them in the next episode. And we'll go from there. So enjoy your week, and Enjoy Sunday night, Night of Champions. Take care.